Hello and welcome to this short pre-recorded webinar for our Brilliant Me and My Mind course. This webinar is intended for parents and carers of children who are about to take the Brilliant Me and My Mind course, whether that's a 5-day version, 4-day or 3-day version. And in this short webinar, I'll be talking you through what we do at Role Models, what we mean by life skills, and we'll be taking a detailed look at what the Brilliant Me and My Mind course includes and what your child will be learning about. And I'll also offer some ideas for you at home as to how you can help build your child's mindset at home. So, firstly, let me introduce myself. My name is Louise Traherne and I am Director of Character Education at Role Models. I create the content for our courses and sessions both offline and online, and my background is in teaching. I was a primary school teacher for 12 years, and that included 5 years as a senior deputy head teacher in a London primary school. I am also a qualified coach, and alongside my work at Role Models, I'm actively coaching adults, parents, teenagers, and children. And our courses at Role Models are all about helping young people to thrive in life rather than just survive. If you do have any questions at all about the content, about the Brilliant Me in My Mind course, or our work more generally at Role Models, please do get in touch. My email is on the screen here. For those of you who might be less familiar with what we do at Role Models, we are an impact-driven education provider, and we focus on life skills that promote social and emotional well-being, and what we like to call dynamic thinking. And we really believe that these types of skills are what help young people learn to be their best self. And they make a difference and help them thrive in life at home and at school, but also thinking about their future. And we like to complement traditional academic education through our offering of online and offline courses, and we're working with children between the ages of 3 to 15 years old. The types of skills we focus on include leadership, confidence, resilience, creative problem solving, collaboration, and developing a growth mindset. And in this webinar, I'm going to go into a lot of detail about what we mean by mindset and a growth mindset. So firstly, why do we believe these life skills are so important? Well, no matter the age of your child, we feel the younger we start, the better, because these types of life skills can have so many positive impacts. And I want to talk about 3 in particular. Firstly, we know that they matter when it comes to mental health and well-being. When it comes to your child's happiness, their sense of satisfaction, developing a healthy relationships with those around them, but also a positive view of themselves. Do they like themselves? Can they see and be ready to celebrate their strengths? Now, well-being and mental health has always been important, but particularly as we come through this global pandemic, these types of skills are hugely important. They also make a difference for your child's future. So even if your child is only young right now, thinking about their future work readiness, we know that the types of skills that employers are looking for, it's not just academic based. It's not just the top exam grades. They're looking for young people who have the people skills, who have the resilience, the initiative to be able to solve their own problems, but also a positive mindset, somebody who can be ready to pick themselves up when something doesn't go according to plan. And if you look to the World Economic Forum, the top 10 skills that they list, are very closely matched to the ones that we focus on in our work. And we talk about workplace ready, but I also like to include the term life ready. These skills are not just for the workplace, they are applicable for life too. And then the impact on academic attainment. I think often we can think that it's one or the other. Am I focusing on academia or life skills? And actually there's a clear link between the amount of resilience and positive mindset that your child has and how ready they are to reach their academic potential. If we think about in a classroom environment, their readiness to take risks, to put their hand up, to be able to learn from the mistakes they're making. If we can develop that type of mindset, we see the positive impact in their approach to their learning. I mentioned the World Economic Forum. I've said academic success alone is not enough. If we're thinking about building tomorrow's leaders, we need to give them these type of skills that can't be replicated by technology and artificial intelligence. And you'll see in this top 10 list here, negotiation, people management, critical thinking, and that emotional intelligence to be able to connect with other people. And these are all the types of things that your child will be working on through their experience with us at Role Models. So your child is about to take their Brilliant Me and My Mind course with us. And I want to take a moment to just show you what other courses we offer in this range for this age group. So you'll see 4 themes. We have Brilliant Me and My Confidence. And in this particular course, we're focusing on traditional view of confidence. Can I be ready to stand up and share my ideas within a group? Can I feel good about being me? Can I talk about myself positively? Do I believe in my strengths? And can I feel proud of the things that I can achieve? This kind of course can be really good for anyone who perhaps is a little bit more shy, but even if your child is already confident, but you've noticed that they don't speak about themselves positively, that could be a course to explore as well. Brilliant Me in My Mind, I'm going to go into a lot more detail about, but it's all about moving away from perfectionism, moving away from that somewhat negative mindset of, I hate the idea of failure and making mistakes, so much so that I'm holding myself back from taking part in activities. Brilliant Me and My Feelings is all about developing that emotional awareness and literacy. So helping your child name their emotions, think about where and how they feel in their body and how to respond to them appropriately. So understanding that it's okay to have a range of feelings. Some of them are uncomfortable, but we need to think about the appropriate way to process them. And then Brilliant Me and My Ideas is all about how your child views creativity. So do they see themselves as somebody who has a good imagination and that has brilliant ideas to share? We help them develop their confidence in nurturing an idea and developing it. And I suppose also exploring that idea that there are lots of different ways to be smart. It's not just down to reading and writing. We can all be brilliant at different things. And all of our courses are always based on 3 themes. That's active learning, ambitious content, and serious fun. And I hope your child really picks that up and experiences that on their course with us. So the Brilliant Me and My Mind course. Let's focus now on what in detail your child will be doing with us. Their experience, as I said, is about breaking down that perfectionist tendency. And we know that perfectionism, yes, it drives us to seek success, but actually there are some more toxic sides of perfectionism where we can limit and hold ourselves back for fear of failure. So the course is about helping them learn to take risks and try new experiences and be able to see challenge as a positive thing. So rather than fear it and equate it with a measure of their self-worth, if I don't do well at this, it means I'm rubbish. And we want to move them from that to actually seeing that actually challenge is a really healthy thing and it's part of the learning journey. And if I can't do something today, that doesn't mean that I'm rubbish. It means that I just can't do it yet. And we talk a lot about that power of the word yet. They're also going to explore letting go of that fear of mistakes and failure and just develop what we call self-efficacy. So, do I really believe in myself as being someone who is capable of success? Doesn't mean that I'm succeeding, excuse me, right here, right now, today, but do I believe in my capability of that? Because if that's not there for your child, it's quite hard for them to be their most confident self and to reach their potential. So the experience with them is about boosting that self-efficacy. Now, we're really lucky to have a whole range of fantastic role models that work with us. We call the adults that lead our courses our role models. They are young, passionate, experienced individuals. Many of them are teachers or ex-teachers. We have actors and performers, and your child will be working with one role model in particular. And it's the same role model throughout the duration of their course. And I would really encourage you to speak to your child's role model, drop off and pick up, just to get that feedback. They will be writing a report on your child, and in that report they'll outline what progress they've seen throughout the week, but also they'll be helpfully outlining where do they need to take it next, how do they further their development with their mindset. So do speak to your child's role model that's working with their group. They are fantastic, and they are so great at building rapport and connecting with the group of children. The content itself, I want to talk to you a bit about how it's been designed. So Brilliant Billy the Bunny, you'll see him on the screen here, is the mascot, if you like, for their week. And the reason we use Billy is because it can be really helpful to have this distancing tool. Sometimes for young children, they find it overwhelming to be able to open up in front of the group and say, well, this is how I feel when I make a mistake, or when I get a bad mark in my test, or I feel I've got a bad mark in my test, or it's a low mark, or I fail at something. Whereas it can be much easier for them to say, how might Billy feel in that moment? And they can project their own feelings and emotions onto Billy. He's also used as a speaking and listening tool as well. So he features a lot throughout the Brilliant Me in My Mind course. Every single day of the Brilliant Me in My Mind course, they will also do a mindfulness activity. It's a quick 5 to 10 minute activity, often based on breathing, and it might be something to do with a breathing technique where they breathe in and out. This one's called starfish breathing, and they will learn one a day. And we explain to them how that mindfulness allows them to be calm, to be present in that moment, and really think about what feelings and emotions and thoughts they have. Throughout this course, we're always encouraging, when would you use this? How would this be helpful in your everyday life? When do you think you might use this when you're with your friends or your brothers and sisters and you're at home? The structure of the content is based around stories. So each day, the role model will share 2 stories with the group. Now, these stories have been carefully selected around the theme of mindset, and I've just got 3 on the screen here that I'm sharing with you. So they're read with the group in a very kind of interactive and fun way, and then they explore, well, what happened in that story? What happened to the character? And following the story, there's a creative task, so where they make something or do something linked to the story they've just read. And by making their thing, it helps bring it back. What does this mean for me in my world? You know, do I respond the same as the character did? Can I use the same strategies that the character did in the story? And then peppered throughout the day, we've got lots of different games and challenges. A lot of those games and challenges require the group to work together. So we've got teamwork involved there. We've got confidence building games where they have to share their ideas with the others in the group. So to give you a little bit more detail about an example activity, one of the books they read is this one here, The Koala Who Could. And it's all about Kevin the koala, who is very reluctant to ever try anything new. He's very happy clinging onto his tree where he feels safe in his comfort zone. And it's about how he develops a can-do attitude. So rather than always thinking, I can't let go, I can't go down to the ground, I can't do this, he's forced to take that leap, and he realizes, actually, it's not that bad. Actually, I feel really good. And he develops this can-do attitude. So one of the things we get the children to do after sharing that story is create their own can-do tree. And you'll see here they are given a wooden tree structure, which they decorate, they colour and put a pattern on it, and then they think of leaves to hang on their tree. And on these leaves, they're selecting ideas of things that would take them outside of their comfort zone. So for some children, they might write down, I really want to jump in the deep end in the swimming pool. Others might say, I really want to go on a play date. I keep thinking I can't do it, I can't do it. Or it might be, I want to try doing a forward roll. Or it could be, I want to join the karate club at school. Whatever it might be for your child, they're going to hang these leaves on their tree. And the beautiful thing about this is when they then take that risk and they do it, they can maybe add new ideas to the tree. It's just a reminder that it's a good thing to sometimes go outside of what feels comfortable to us, just like Kevin the koala did in the story. The other activity that they do is looking at the power of the word yet. And one of the stories they listen to is all about this word. What can I not do today? Actually, I just can't do it yet. And the activity they do is they make their own bookmark. And you'll see here on my screen some examples of the designs that they have made. A bookmark that they can use, just reminding them, yes, I've got to remember that this word yet is powerful, because it's much more positive and empowering for me to think I can't do this yet, rather than I can't do this maths problem, and that means I'm rubbish. I'm not feeling good about myself. Whereas if we can say, actually, I can't do this, but I just can't do it yet. Maybe I need to work a little bit longer on it, practice. Maybe I need to ask for some help. It's a more empowering thought to have. We are also very passionate about linking up what we're doing on the course to you at home. And I think there are some key ways that you can help your child bring what they're doing home to promote a discussion with you. So when they do come home and they have their bookmark or their tree or whatever it might be that they've made each day, is for you to open a dialogue about that. Tell me about what you've made. How did that link to the story that your role model read to you today? Also ask about those stories, and at the end of the week we do provide you a list of the book titles and authors, so there might be some that you choose to go and purchase if they're particular ones that have really resonated with your child. You can also ask them about the mindfulness activity, get them to teach you and show you how to do it. And another helpful thing is at the end of each day of the course, the role model who's been working with the group will send you a summary email. And in that email, it just goes through what books they covered, what activities they did, and there's usually some photographs attached too. And it's a great way, if your child does come home and you say, how was your day? What did you get up to? And they don't really give you much back, is you can use that email. Oh, your role model says that you did this today. Tell me a bit more about it. Or what was going on here in this photograph? And then some ideas for you at home. We will be working really hard with your child to develop their mindset. So how can you build on that further at home? Well, definitely using the mindfulness techniques to help them stay calm. In those big moments when they have a big emotion or feeling, you really notice that they're falling into maybe quite a negative mindset, is to say, hey, how about we do some of your starfish breathing or whatever one it might be. As parents and educators, we can help with their mindset by emphasizing the importance of effort rather than just outcome. Okay, so what I mean by this is it can be very easy to just praise and highlight, wow, you got 10 out of 10 in your spelling test. I'm so pleased, that's brilliant. We can say that, but it can be helpful to also balance that with, wow, you got 10 out of 10, that's great, but do you know what I'm most proud of? Is the effort you put in all week to practice. Or, I know there was one really tricky word in there that you were worried about and you kept trying. Because if we only give our praise based on the outcome, whether it's right or wrong, that is what tends to breed perhaps some perfectionist tendencies. Because, of course, that's what our child only worries about. Whereas if we can praise and highlight the attributes, they begin to understand that, yes, I'm striving for success, but actually it's just as important for me to be resilient and to think good thoughts and to keep trying and put lots of effort in. It's not only about whether I have won or lost or got it 100% correct. Let them learn from making mistakes. And I think if we really want them to embrace that, we have an opportunity within our family to model. So let's talk about the mistakes we're all making. Maybe over our breakfast or our evening meal, at the end of the week, can we all share one mistake we've made and talk about how that's been a helpful thing? What have we learnt from that experience? One of the things we'll be teaching the children during the course is about listening in for what we can call unhelpful or negative thoughts. And sometimes young children find that quite hard to listen into. So what we can do is we can help catch them. When you hear your child say, they think I'm rubbish, or I can't do this, I never win anything, we can help say, oh, sounds to me like you're having an unhelpful thought right there. Shall we stop and shall we just think about that? Is that really true? And the questions that they'll learn from the story they read is that definitely 100% true? And is it helpful? Is it helpful for you right now? Another idea is, if you hear that negative thought, is to say, if it was your best friend having that thought, what would you say to them? And usually your child will come back and say, well, I'd say, yes, you can do it, keep trying, don't give up. So we need to help them use that same voice and speak to themselves. And we use a phrase, being kind to your mind. Let's try and move away from that negative chatter. I can't yet, as much as you can do, really work on using that word yet through modelling, maybe have it up in the kitchen somewhere. Remind them of previous experiences. Now, for young children, especially when they are met with a challenge, something that's difficult, they can be ready to give up. So we can step in and say, hey, I can see you're finding this tricky. Do you remember when you found karate tricky? Or remember when you felt this way about whatever it might be last year or last month? And look at you now. You practiced and now you're finding it much easier. I think when we step in and remind them of that, remember when you found that difficult, it can be just what they need in that moment to say, oh yeah, maybe I can do this. Maybe I am capable of making progress. Allowing independence. I think for developing a positive, healthy mindset about what we can do, it's important to be allowed the independence and being allowed the opportunities. I believe in you. You can go and do this job. Can I ask for your help? Can I ask for your opinion? Just really building that positive self-view of our child. I've mentioned the daily email. I think one of the real challenges for any course for young people and even for adults is it can be a fantastic experience, and then quite often we go back to our daily life and our old habits and ways of being. And we are passionate at Role Models about your child participating and then actually thinking, feeling and behaving differently as a consequence of having done the course. So how can we make sure that happens? Well, conversations with you at home through using that daily email, I think, really help. You'll also receive their end of week report. And for many parents, they choose to share that report with their child's class teacher to give them that insight into their life skills and their mindset. We will also send to you at the end of the course 10 top tips, quick ideas similar to what I've shared already in this webinar about how you can embed these skills moving forward. You'll also receive that book list of the different books that they have been introduced to. And then we also share 3 follow-up videos. And these are quick 5-minute videos designed for your child to watch. And we space them out after the end of the course so that you don't get them all at once, but 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 2 weeks after. And when your child watches the videos, the idea is that they say, oh yeah, I remember role models and I remember that course. How am I using that learning now? They will also receive a special letter in the post. And I'm not going to say much more about this because it's a surprise. So please don't mention this to your child. But just when they've maybe forgotten all about role models, they should receive a letter directly to them in the post, which serves as a really good reminder. And then for all participants, they all receive a role models passport, and we tick off the key skills that they have developed during their time with us, and they will also receive a certificate as well. Thinking more about specific information that you need before your child does their course with us, we run these courses in lots of different areas and different venues. So please do look out for the email that you'll receive before your course begins. And in that email, there'll be lots of venue specific details, timings and all sorts. You will have been prompted to fill in a form giving us details about you and your child. Are there any needs that we need to know about, allergies? So you will have filled that in, and if we haven't got that information from you, we will reach out and remind you before the start of the course. Generally, the hours tend to be from 10 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. And please do send your child in with their own lunch and a water bottle, making sure that that's nut-free. And then depending on the time of year, please do make sure that your child has suitable clothing. So whether that's a sun hat, sun cream, or a coat if it's winter. And then please do stick to dropping off and picking up. We know that sometimes parents, carers are keen to stay and to watch, but we do ask that you drop your child off and leave them with us for the duration of the course, which really helps with obviously independence and their response to the whole experience too. But do please, we encourage you to have a chat with their role model, find out about them and get some feedback at the end of the day. I really hope this webinar has been helpful. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. We hope that your child has a fantastic experience on the Brilliant Me and My Mind course, and we really look forward to meeting them. And if you've got anything else you'd like to know, please do just get in touch. You can call us, email us, you can check us out on Instagram. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this webinar.